Hey everybody, Rich with Prep You down here in the bunker, just hanging out, having some coffee, delicious coffee. Hey, the other day I was, of course, on the internet looking up stuff and kind of fell down a weird rabbit hole and started going toward, reading articles about foraging and you know, looking for stuff out in nature that you can eat or you can use for fire. You can use, during, a lot of it's different times of the season, especially stuff that's just starting to grow. Um, and I found this interesting article that kind of reminded me of my childhood, and it is by Rachel Blasbalg from Ask a Prepper. We've talked about Ask a Prepper websites before. Their website, great website to go to. It's just askaprepper.com. Got a lot of really good stuff. I've got a lot of articles and stuff that I've saved, both hard copy and on my phone about stuff about, you know, in the forest and food you should have and stuff for your bags and stuff like that. But it's from Ask a Prepper, and it's called The Most Common Edible Trees Growing in Your State. And the great thing about this article, if you go to it, again, it's on Ask a Prepper by Rachel Blasbalg. That's Blasbalg, is, and I'm not going to break it down the way she did, but it's broken down by state and what state has what trees and all that. So it's a great article to go to. The whole website's a great place to go to. It's Ask a Prepper. But this one is about edible trees. And it kind of reminded me when I was a kid. I don't know how old you are. I just turned 65, believe it or not. I'm sure I look it. But there was a gentleman called Yule Gibbons. He was a naturalist, and his claim to fame is commercials when I was a kid for grape nuts. And his big thing was, most parts are edible. And he was standing by a fir tree with a pine cone. And so it was pretty interesting, and it kind of reminded me when I was a kid. So I'm going to go over it just for the heck of it. It's kind of a cool little article, and it's a great little video I thought I'd put together. So edible trees, I have a list of trees here that you can get stuff off of that are edible. So these are the trees that they listed. Some of these are like, well, yeah, duh, pawpaw, the pecan, hickory, spruce/pine, the birch, maple, sycamore, oak, both white and red. Do you know the difference between white and red? Do you? White have rounded leaves, the red have pointed leaves. The juniper, sumac, holly leaf cherry, hazelnut, olive, black cherry, slippery elm, mulberry, persimmon, mango, breadfruit, papaya, coconut palm, Guaua, whatever that is, the noni. Some of these are from the islands. The Taramac, linden, American chestnut, hawthorn, serviceberry, butternut, beech, walnut, eastern redbud, chokecherry, plum, and cabbage palmetto. Those are just, some of the ones that I saw on there that are have edible parts on them. And right off the bat, you can think of, the nuts, the fruit, and stuff like that on a lot of these trees. But this goes beyond, the article goes beyond that. Like acorns. I would have never thought to eat an acorn, but they were saying that soak for a few days or boil, then you can roast the acorn, and they can be ground for flour or eaten as a snack. I didn't know that. Then acorns from which tree is it again? The oak. The white tastes better than the red, and why is that? Well, the white oak, the acorns have less tannins in it, and if you have to try to remember the difference between a white oak and a red oak, and I was taught this as a child, that think of um, arrows and bullets. The pointed leaf is the red, or for Native American, because they had arrows. Don't forget, this was a long time ago. I hope this isn't, freaking anybody out. But anyhow, and the white have rounded like a bullet. Okay, so the white oak is rounded leaves, the red oak is pointed leaves. Kind of a neat way of doing it. Oak leaves, you can make them into wine. All right, the beech tree, obviously the nuts can be eaten, but take the shell off first, they said. Leaves in the spring can be eaten. Apparently they have a kind of a sweet taste on the beech tree. Birch, you can eat the leaves when they're young, and the inner bark, okay, not the stuff that curls. If you know anything about birch trees, I was raised in the summers in Michigan. We had a lot of birch trees, and we used the peeling bark to start fires. It was really good for that. Like it says here, great fire starter. But the logs, if you have birch logs, you'll notice that they burn very, very quickly. They're not a hardwood at all. The sap of the birch, you can actually tap the sap of a birch tree. And the inner bark, you can cook it like spaghetti and ground it into flour. So that's the birch tree. The maple tree is syrup. Shiloh, stop. Hey, stop. The leaves of the maple tree in the spring, raw or cooked, and you can fry them in tempura batter. The Japanese do that. It's a delicacy in Japan with the maple leaves. The seeds, I call them helicopters. I don't know what you call them. They can be roasted, okay, just like an acorn, which is pretty cool. The bark of the maple tree can be drowned and ground to thicken soup or mix into dough or porridge. Who knew? The pine tree, pine nuts, just like Yule Gibbons said, all varieties are edible, but most are very small, and they are. If you ever looked at a pine tree, the nuts are very small. The needles, a huge source of vitamin C. You can make them into tea or add to any recipe for spicy, piney kick. Do not eat them raw. All right, that's pretty cool. And the pine tree, the bark and pollen can be a flower substitute. All right, but as always, and they said in the article, and I also agree, remember to consult your edible guide. There are many poisonous lookalikes. And that's the thing, if you don't have, a edible guide for, stuff in the wild, like berries and mushrooms and trees and plants and stuff like that, I think you're doing yourself a disservice for your information library. And we all know, I've got a couple videos on information libraries, which are really cool, and kind of important to know. So it's kind of a supplement. Is this a video that's going to save your life? I don't know, but it's kind of a fun video to think about it and try different things and get out there. And if it does anything, it tweaks you to go to your favorite bookstore, if there are any brick and mortar bookstores out there anymore, or your favorite book site, and pick up edible fruits, berries, and plants for foraging. So that's it. That's this Tuesday's prepping tip of the week. I want to thank all you subscribers so very much, and I encourage you to pass this along to other people and have them also subscribe. It always makes me happy when I see more subscribers popping up. We're at a little over 1,400, which is pretty cool. And yeah, comment on this video if you liked it. If you didn't like it, thumbs up, thumbs down. If you have any comments about this, or if you have anything to add to it that people might want to see or read, please do. And but do go to the article, askaprepper.com, about edible trees. And the lady's name was Rachel, Balbalg. And check out that article. But it really gets to the point of your state or your area, what trees are around, and check it out and try it out. I'm going to. There's no doubt. Obviously, the spring is the best time. So that's about it. So hey, please always be aware of your surroundings at all time, no matter where you're at. Please have enough food, at least 3 deep, for sheltering in place, and also have 72-hour of grab and go food if you have to get out in a hurry, if you have to evacuate or bug out. And please prep like your life depends on it, because it really does. Thanks a lot. See you next time.